milestone, I survived you. Before I could start, you pull it apart. I believed you. The rules that you made, how you were betrayed, I forgave you. It was not my choice, I followed your voice, I obeyed you. Father, I do realize that the cards you were given destroyed you.
Hey Headbangers, it's Harley from Headbangers Australia today, and I'm catching up with frontman Kjetil Nordhus from Green Carnation. And we're talking about their newest release today, A Dark Poem Part 2, Sanguis. And thank you for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
So tell me, what have you been up to since the release of the album?
Oh, it's not something we tried before to release 3 albums in approximately 1 year. So at the same time as releasing part 2, we have been preparing part 3 with mixing and cover art and everything in the same period. So it's a lot of things going on the same time.
Yeah.
So it's been a focus that needed to be on 2 albums right now for us for 1 or 2 months, but it feels good, and the reception for part 2 has been again quite overwhelming, to be honest, because I thought that we couldn't really get any better reception than part 1, but I think it has happened actually. So of course we're happy about that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I heard you recorded them simultaneously in, was it 2024?
Yeah,
Yeah, wow, that's a lot.
it is a lot, and I don't know. It's been a project that's been in our lives now since 2018. First
Wow.
years and years of composing, and me and Stein Roger, the bass player, who's also playing guitars in the studio, some of the guitars. We just agreed that we want to do this, no matter how long it was going to take.
Yeah.
And we soon understood that this is going to take quite a while, so we need to release an album in the meantime also to buy ourselves time for this huge project to be as good as we wanted it to be. So that's why it's taken a long time, and of course it feels amazing then when people respond and kind of understand what we have been trying to do. You can live with, mediocre reviews sometimes if they actually, realize what you want to do. And it seems like everybody is realizing what we want to do with this, because everything has just been great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic to hear. Yeah, I've heard a lot of positive things myself about the release. It must be a real relief to have actually brought that one out as well. This is apparently your like most personal one.
Yeah. After composing all the songs for all the 3 albums, we didn't compose album part 1 first, and then part 2, and then part 3. We composed everything in a long period of time for like 5 years time, and then we started working with pairing songs together that would make sense together, and also we wanted each and every album to be able to live its own life without the other ones, but also fit with the other ones, which was so we used quite a lot of time on kind of putting together the albums. And I do think I was kind of nervous after the first album if we had used up all the good songs, but apparently not. So yeah, so I guess the first song and the last song on the trilogy is the only ones that needed, like, we knew quite as soon that they had to be the first and the last songs on the trilogy. But other than that, we've been trying to compose an album with our compositions, if you know what I mean. So that's why we wanted the second album to be a bit different from the first one. First one is, all guns blazing from the start basically to finish, with lots of energy, high tempo, and lots of stuff happening. And already on the second song on Sanguis, there's almost nothing happening. And so if you listen to the first album first and then go straight into the second, I think also your ears maybe kind of need a little bit of break after 7 quite intense songs with high energy. So all those things we needed to think about, and also to pair songs that could fit lyrically. Of course, all the songs in the trilogy kind of fits together lyrically, but we wanted the 2 very quiet songs to be on the same album in order to kind of, for it to be a bit different, and also to where we kind of had our eyes, our focus out of ourselves and onto the world on the first album. It was a natural thing to fit together some of the songs that were more introspective on the second part.
You've taken the words from my mouth. I was going to say that in the comparison, the first one's very outward, and there's a lot of energy to it. And it was really interesting coming into the second one. I really loved it. I loved how mellow it was, and it really feels like just kind of like flowing into the next part of it. And there was like a lot of sorrow, but there was balance. It was comforting. I found it was very comforting to listen to, rather than just sad or doom and gloom. It was very beautiful and emotive, and it had this atmosphere. And personally, I really loved Loneliness Untold. That really just, I don't know, hit me in a certain way. But that ending with Lunar Tale is just phenomenal. Um,
Oh, thank you.
it was just very touching. Yeah, you should be proud.
Yeah, well, we are, and it's not like we're 50-year-old men now,
Mm.
and I think we're so kind of, we know a little bit about life now, and I think maybe our audience, of course, it's not only 50-year-old men. I understand that, but I do think we have an audience that kind of understand what we're talking about when we talk about these things. They are also comforting for the ears, as you're saying. So it's also possible to.
Mm.
So a Green Carnation song could also be a background song, of course, because
Yeah.
I think the production is really nice on all 3 albums, and
Mm.
but if you go into the music, I do think we have many things in common with the people that follow us, and of course the opposite way around, and I think that's why it makes sense for us to talk about the things that are important to us, because we know these issues are probably important to quite a lot of other people our age or younger or older, of course, as well.
Yeah. Definitely. I really felt that it's one of those albums that just kind of reaches out to you. And yeah, I can see a lot of people resonating with it of any age, anyone who's experienced like loss and just any kind of struggle in their life. I think it will really resonate with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And but there are, of course, challenges when you're dealing with themes like that. I lost my father during this process, and Stein Roger lost
Um,
his father during the process, and the opening track of part 2 is actually about his father and the lack of love that he experienced in his young age. And
yeah.
of course, when suddenly his father died before that song was released, he needed to go another round with himself to see if he could kind of um, still like deliver these lyrics to the rest of the world. And
Yeah.
but that was his reality when he grew up. So he thought and we also agree we don't want to do any compromises on these 3 albums when it comes to music or lyrics. And it was a harsh time for him growing up. So he just decided again that doesn't make anything better to kind of write it in a different way, because that would just be to be maybe not completely honest to yourself.
Yeah.
So he decided to stay with the lyrics for all of the songs, and I think he's happy with that now. the sad thing with Sten Roger's father is that they kind of found kind of a way back to each other the last couple of years. So they were building a new relationship, but then he suddenly died with then suddenly kind of very suddenly died, and that was harder for Stein Roger than he thought it would be, because they were kind of in the beginning of building something also with Stein Roger's kids and their grandfather, you know, and so.
Yeah.
But that's life. You cannot always decide what's going to happen.
Yes, it's very unexpected, but it's wonderful that you've explored that all through music. I'm sure that that must have had some sort of catharsis, at least, despite how hard it
Absolutely,
must have been.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's not like you necessarily write your way out of something always, but
Mm.
sometimes it does feel good to put words on some of the feelings that you might not have been maybe even too open about to the rest of the world. Because there
Yeah.
are, as we talked about earlier, so many people that could resonate with what he's singing about around, sadly, around the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's wonderful that that kind of work exists. It can be very difficult to produce, but the listeners, I think, knowing they're not alone, you know,
Mm.
that's really important.
Yeah, and we've had a lot of, you know, also personal messages on social media and stuff from people.
Oh,
Tell us how the songs have helped them to kind of, yeah, as you're saying, to make them realize that they're not alone either, you know.
yeah,
So it's very good in one way and very difficult in another way, but that's art. It's not supposed to be easy.
yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. But yeah, it's
Mm.
lovely that you've had that outreach. It's very, I can imagine it's very overwhelming, but also very special. That people approach you with these, like they may share their stories or things like that.
Yeah, also when you put so much effort and so much of your own life into it, like for now
Mm.
it's 8 years since we started everything with the trilogy, and I've no idea how many 100 hours each we have put into this. Uh, there's a lot of good memories, and there was times where kind of the development didn't go as fast as we wanted to. Of course, when
Mm.
COVID, you know, that was a new challenge for us.
Mm.
Which actually was a positive one for creating these songs, because me and Stein could go away from, you couldn't kind of be with the rest of the world anyway, so we could go away
Yeah,
to his cabin in the woods up in the mountains and stay there for days and days and days and just compose music. It was kind of, yeah, without those like many long weekends, we would probably use even more time, because as I said, we agreed very early on that we shouldn't do any compromises when it came to music or ideas and lyrics for this. And the difference between being 95% happy with something and 100% happy with something is a huge difference. Sometimes the last 5% take longer time than the first 95, you know.
yep, yep.
But we were kind of trying to be positive to each other and to the process, and never kind of, it was never like we wanted to give up. I don't think we expected it to be as much work as it ended up being, but we had to remind ourselves all the time that no compromises. We want to deliver both lyrically and musically absolutely 100% of our capacity as music people. And that's probably what makes me most proud, is that I can say that now. I know for the next album as well that we haven't given away or shared anything with anyone that's not 100% of our capacity. And that
That's
takes quite a
great.
lot when it comes to like a big project like this.
Yeah. I was gonna say with I know you probably can't say anything about part three, but if the first one's quite outward and the second one's quite introspective, is there a vibe for part three?
Yeah, and part three is going to be very different from part one and two.
Mm.
we won't say exactly what it is, but we have announced that we're going to do all 3 albums in one evening in our hometown of Kristiansand with all the guests from all the albums. And there are approximately 130 guests on album number 3. So they're going to be
Wow.
there at concert as well.
Yeah.
And we have also announced in the event that those people are like a full symphony orchestra and a full opera choir. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
heard
it's
about
not
that.
really, it's not really a kind of a secret, but it's a secret what it is, I guess, and nobody has heard
Yeah.
anything. So that's I guess maybe we'll divide people. That's not going to be, you know, background music. I think at least a part of that album. So I do think the people that are on board on the idea of this being a trilogy would kind of the 3rd album would make perfect sense for them. But
Yeah,
I think like
fantastic.
as an album just to visit for 5 minutes, you probably won't get the big idea behind it then. But I'm looking forward to share the 3rd part as well in a few months' time. So it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I think it's always really cool when symphony and metal come together. I think it's a match made, you know. So yeah, and
Absolutely.
that's really exciting.
Yeah, and we are going to do this, of course, in a totally different way than anybody else would do it. But I cannot say more about that.
Okay. But no,
Yeah.
that's still really cool. Well, yeah, I hope it's a really good time. I saw you're at some festivals as well. So yeah, I'm sure that's going to be awesome for people to see. We're pretty
Yeah.
jealous.
It's not too far away from Australia to Norway, is it?
It's just, you know, just a bit of a walk
Yeah,
across the
yeah,
ocean.
yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah.
that's quite it's quite amazing because you know we went away for 10 years and then we came back
Mm,
and then I think we had forgotten um, how much we actually mean for some people in their lives.
mm.
So for this concert in Kristiansand, small town in Norway, in September, there's actually going to be people from more than 20 different countries all over the world to come to our
Wow.
hometown to see us play live, and that's kind of, if that's not a huge motivation, I don't know what is.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, that's in September, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
12th of September. Yeah.
that's so exciting. That yeah,
Mm.
that must be mind blowing.
Yeah, it is quite mind blowing actually. So we can, yeah, there is a lot of work for us before that, before that's 100% of what it can be. But luckily, it's not tomorrow.
That's good. Yeah, you've got some time still. A couple more
Yeah,
weeks, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, I'd say with that we're probably about to wrap up, but like before we finish, is there anything you'd like to say to your listeners? Like, what would you like them to draw away from this album, like after listening to it?
I think that like if it can have any kind of positive effect on their lives, on
Hmm.
if it can make some people kind of feel what we have already talked about, that they're not the only ones struggling with stuff. It's an honest thing with struggling with stuff, and basically the entire trilogy is about different aspects of that. And then it would be a huge success for us if anything kind of feels comfort in our songs on, or if they just like the music, that's okay as well. Not everybody is listening too actively on lyrics, I know, but yeah, we would be happy. And there's also, I don't know how realistic it is, but we are hoping to visit some new continents for us
Oh,
in the period, you know, especially maybe after the 3rd release. We have given ourselves the rest of 2026 and the entire of 2027 on playing live, not hundreds of shows, but
mm,
if there is interest in Australia, we would most definitely consider it. Of course, it's an expensive trip and everything, but if we can make it happen somehow, we're going to try to make it happen. But I think the invitation has to come from Australia to us first, and then hopefully that would happen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, hopefully someone's listening and they know that, because that would be awesome. I know it's always such a far way out. We always see the European festivals and kind of cry a bit. But yeah, that would be very cool if you all could make it. And yeah, I mean, if you could do the symphony thing too, that would be awesome. I love those types of plans.
There is a nice concert house in Sydney, isn't it?
Yeah, there's the Opera House. So I know that. I know like Opeth and a few other bands have played there, and it's a really special place to perform, and some beautiful theaters too. So
it's one of the most famous buildings in the world, isn't it?
yeah. But no, that'd be
Try
cool.
and make that happen. Then I don't know how realistic it is, but again, also Latin America would be is on our list of, and maybe also Asia. But again, it's not up to us always. We can have a wish, but the initiative would always be from the continent or the country that wants us to come and visit.
Yeah, well, we'll be sure to make some noise on our end, and yeah, hopefully we'll see you on there soon, and that'd be
nice.
very cool.
Okay.
Yeah, you can experience well, hopefully more summertime, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. That's an even bigger draw for us from October to March. We can escape from our winter in Norway for a week or something. That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be. I think the only other thing was that just in general, your work is just really beautiful in the way it kind of observes like life, death, emotion, different emotions, sorrow in particular with that gothic sound you have. But as a kind of last question, in a decade, how do you want people to remember your records, particularly these trilogy ones?
I've been talking with Sten Roger about this quite a lot,
Hmm.
and for us, this is kind of a once in a lifetime attempt on doing something that can be remembered because of the size of the entire project and what it's about. It's like with the cover art, of course, it wasn't by accident that we asked Nicholas Sundine to do the entire cover art for the entire project, because he's been in our universe, and we've been working with him for 25 years. He knows the music, he loves the music, and we love his work, and he would understand quite easily what we wanted to do with this. So even with the artwork, there's not single percentage of compromise there either. So I think when you do that, and when you do something that you can be proud of, I think at least we are gonna be very proud if we're still around in 10 years' time. That, you say, is the most important thing for us, is to still be able to think back on that, and that we actually, it was a once in a lifetime opportunity, and we made the best out of it. And that's always a good feeling. So I think that's my answer for that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think it's sometimes a labor of love to work on something for so many years, but it sounds like you're doing a wonderful job. You've touched many hearts already, and you still haven't released part 3, so there's more to come.
And maybe we'll have a chat after part 3 as well.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I'd just like to say thank you for coming out today to have a chat. It's been really fantastic. I just love being able to talk emotions. I'm a very emotive listener myself, so it's really cool to get these types of talks happening. But so thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, and have a great evening and a long weekend if you have the long weekend in Australia as well.
Yes, thank you. We don't, but we'll imagine it. We make enough as is.
Yeah, all right then. Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
At times referred as the end.